Xbox just can't seem to stay out of the news cycle. They are dominating the discussion around a lot of different things. And just this last week, we've learned so much leading up to today at the time of recording. Just a hardware drop partnership with Meta, of all people. So yeah, we're jumping into the game news. Welcome in. Welcome back to the show. Let's just get right into it because, I mean, there's a lot to cover. We got some Nintendo stuff to talk about. So let's start here. DragXDrive, which we saw at the Switch 2 reveal direct. It's fine. It looks like what we got with ARMS on the Switch 1, right? Wheelchair basketball. It's an interesting idea. It's going to use the mouse mode for the Joy-Con 2s really interestingly, I think. Anyway, Nintendo Today, the Switch News app, got a release date, and August 14th is that date. DragXDrive is a wheelchair basketball game in which players use the mouse controls on both Joy-Con 2 controllers and move them forwards and backwards to emulate the moving of a wheelchair. Players can then lift a Joy-Con 2 controller to throw the ball in an attempt to get it in the basket and score points. In the form initially shown off during the Switch 2 Direct, DragXDrive appears to be a 3v3 online basketball game, but it's still confirmed whether there will be other modes offering different team sizes or solo play. So yeah, there's a few screenshots and stuff. The game looks fine. I don't know if I'm going to pick it up. I mean, I barely play Rocket League. Sports games aren't really my thing. It might be fun. It looks like a good time for people that enjoy that kind of thing. But then I don't know if I'm going to be into it much at all. Anyway. Yeah. So, hey, at least it got a release date. Something to look for in August, I guess. All right, anyway, let's move on. All right, some bad news. BeatSaber will no longer get new content on PSVR and PSVR2, with multiplayer to be dropped next year. Other versions of the popular VR game will continue to get new content. So, BeatSaber, Beat Games is the developer. They've dropped support for both versions of the PlayStation VR. All future content for the game, including new songs, will be released on MetaQuest and Steam, but will not be coming to either PlayStation's VR devices. As we look to the future and plan the next big leap for BeatSaber, we have made the decision to no longer release updates for PS4 and PS5 starting in June 25, the studio said in a statement. Our passion for VR remains unwavering. We're excited about the possibilities that lie ahead and what we can bring to BeatSaber fans who have been on this journey with us over the past 7 years. I hate statements like this because it's like we're excited about the possibilities that lie ahead, and then the fans that have been with us the last 7 years, well, unless you're a PlayStation VR 1 or VR 2 player who's been a fan of BeatSaber, in which case they're not excited to bring that to you. Now, whatever the reasons are behind this, which I don't know if this article even gets to, but whatever the reasons are, it seems kind of weird that they would drop VR2 support. I could see dropping PlayStation VR support on the PS4, but the VR2 on PS5, like that's odd. But let's read on. Maybe we'll find some information. According to Beat Games, the surprise release of Lady Gaga's Abracadabra on June 5th was the last song to be released on PSVR and VR2. All subsequent track releases will skip PlayStation devices. Players on PSVR and VR2 will still be able to keep playing Beat Saber, and any tracks released before today will still be available to buy and use in the game. Beat Saber will be available for purchase on PS4 and PS5 devices, and players can still play or purchase songs or music packs that were released prior to June 18th, 2025. However, no new content will be released on these platforms after that date. So, here's what I think. Because they're still selling the game, they didn't just pull it. It's not a technical issue. I'm willing to bet there's very few people playing on the PS4 or PS5 versions of Beat Saber. And so they're having to license these tracks. And it's kind of the same thing we saw with Rock Band. Back in the day, they were licensing so much music that, you know, every time they sold a track, they had to pay out part of that to the owner of the song. But they also had to like pay for permission to like develop the track for Rock Band. I think that's a similar situation here for Beat Saber. They're having to get access to files that, like, you know, the lay person that listens to music doesn't have access to. They're having to get permission to put the music in their game and represent the artist according to whatever terms, and they have to pay out a cut of every sale they make to each individual license holder. And so all of that combined, I think PS4 and PS5, specifically PS4, but probably PS5 VR2 players are their lowest volume of players. There's very few people probably playing on PlayStation compared to MetaQuest, Steam, any other platforms where this game exists. I feel like Steam is probably the bread and butter. Meta right behind it, because those are mentioned by name here. Interesting though, kind of a bummer, because BeatSaber is kind of the VR experience. So odd to see, a little unexpected, but hey, things get expensive. The article goes on to mention that the both versions, PSVR and VR2, will no longer have multiplayer starting on January 21st, 2026. And at least you can still play it. Whatever you've purchased, you still have access to for now. I mean, that could change over time, but so far it is still functional. But yeah, if you're playing Beat Saber on a PlayStation, sorry. All right, let's move on. All right, Persona 4 Revival, which I was very much looking forward to releasing within the next year. Not releasing until at least 2026, according to this article. I thought it said 2027. They might have updated it very recently. At the Xbox Games Showcase, one of the worst kept secrets became official when Persona 4 Revival, a remake of 2008's Persona 4, was confirmed. Despite the reveal, what wasn't confirmed was when exactly Persona 4 Revival would release. Weeks later, there's not a vague window. According to a recent Sega report, Persona 4 Revival isn't expected to launch until fiscal year 27 or later. See, this is wrong. Based on how Sega's fiscal years work, at least according to its fiscal year 25 year report, that would put the launch after April 1st, 26 at the earliest. There's been no hint of what the actual release date could be. I don't think it would be that early. If it's a full-on remake like Persona 3 was, my guess would be end of 26. So I guess technically the title isn't wrong, but I don't think we're going to see this until end of next year, beginning of 27. I could be wrong. Maybe it's further along than what they hinted at, but I think they would have shown more in their teaser than what they did. So, you know, let's look at what information we have, what we do know. The game's probably a ways off. When it does launch, Persona 4 Revival will be available on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. It will also be available day one on Xbox Game Pass. And then when do I think it will release? Next year. End of next year, early 27. I'm hoping so. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. I played through most of it on a PS Vita, and it was a lot of fun. I didn't get around to finishing it, but that's because I just was kind of done with the PS Vita, and ended up selling it all on Facebook Marketplace. For better or worse, that happened. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I was gonna pick up Golden now that it's on like everything, but I think I might wait for Revival and just play that. Because it's not going to be like Final Fantasy VII Remake where it's a different story or it's an altered story. This is going to be Persona 4 with better graphics and modern quality of life features. So, you know, maybe I'll just finally play through Persona 3 and 5 in the meantime. I think I have plenty of time for that. All right, moving on. So last week, over the weekend, Nintendo had some banner ads go up on the London Underground that said Metroid Prime 4 was out now, but it is in fact not out now and was not shadow dropped. So as of yesterday, Nintendo has fixed its London Underground ad, which claimed Metroid Prime 4 was out now. Had previously confirmed to VGC that the ad was incorrect. They replaced the London Underground ad for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond days after it was found to have contained wrong information. That was on Friday. Before this video is being recorded, discovered that a poster for Metroid Prime 4 spotted by VGC at Oxford Circus Tube Station in London gives information on the game along with an out now message. VGC took a photo of the poster, but also noted that a similar Mario Kart World poster alongside featured the same out now message. It seemed likely then that whoever created the ads had copied the template over for the Metroid Prime 4 ad and forgot to remove the out now part. Nintendo subsequently confirmed the error to VGC in a statement confirming that no surprise shadow drop of the game was imminent. So we can confirm the out now message on this advert is incorrect, the company told us. So yeah, now it says just 2025. There's no actual date set. I guess they reprinted it pretty quick, but you know, I like this tried to make pilgrimage to the holy site, but it's been desecrated. It's certainly a surprise. A lot of us were like, "What, are they shadow dropping the game, or is this just an honest mistake?" And good to see, Nintendo go ahead acknowledges that, like, hey, it wasn't actually a thing. We messed up, or somebody messed up somewhere. No big deal. You just got us all hyped up for nothing. Random dude who put the ad up on the London Underground. Appreciate it. But yeah, anyway, mistakes happen. It's not like this game has been anticipated for a long time. Anyway, let's move on. All right, speaking of Switch 2, Final Fantasy 16 on Switch 2 has been teased by a producer. So it's on Insider Gaming. During a recent stream, Final Fantasy 16's producer teased a Switch 2 port for the game, saying just Nintendo left. Square Enix has begun its multi-platform push, no longer skipping Xbox for its Final Fantasy installments. The developers shadow dropped FF16 on Xbox this month and confirmed an FF7 remake release for later this year. It seems that they won't be stopping at Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam, and have plans to release on the Nintendo Switch 2. The Switch 2 too. But yeah, so spotted on Reset Era, well, whatever you say it. Final Fantasy 16 producer teased the Switch 2 port towards the end of the Final Fantasy 14 letter from the producer livestream. The producer Naoki Yoshida stated just Nintendo-san left when talking about the Xbox port for Final Fantasy 16. The creative director, Kazutoyo Mahiro, also chimed in, stating he will do his best. This statement doesn't confirm an FF16 Switch 2 port, but does tease a possibility. The Final Fantasy VII Remake series director, Naoki Hamaguchi, also spoke about releasing the entire trilogy on the Switch 2, stating that the new console has enough power to handle the series. Hamaguchi has stated high hopes to create a strong partnership between Nintendo and the Final Fantasy brand, and hopefully this partnership results in other ports being released for the platform. So that's cool. I started playing it on Xbox, and it's pretty good. It's very fun. I'm enjoying it. So it'd be cool to see more availability for these games and platform exclusivity just going by the wayside for third-party publishers. Because ideally, they need to make as much money as possible, and they need to sell more copies of the game on launch, because those missed targets every time look bad on paper, but it's also like, hey, you only put this on PS5, which there's a lot of people on PS5, but you could have put it on PC at the same time and just sold that much more at launch, and that would have looked better for sales numbers and platform sales and everything else involved. But hey, at least they're considering the Switch this time around. The Switch 1 felt like a dry spell, not for RPGs, but at least anything modern, right? It was just overlooked. All the major franchises were skipping. You got a bunch of ports and remakes, and we got a bunch of HD 2D. I'm not saying that we didn't get those things. Those are very important releases. But as far as like new modern things, we had to settle for Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition, right? I mean, like, what was that? That was weird. Did that come out on the OG Switch? I don't even remember. I just remember that coming out, and it's like, who wants this? Anyway, so cool to see. Hopefully Square can keep the momentum up. Maybe we'll actually get native ports of Kingdom Hearts on the Switch 2 as well, instead of cloud versions, like what happened last gen. Pitiful. Anyway, let's move on. Speaking of Nintendo Direct set for July. It's claimed, the rumors are up. I mean, we got the DK Direct. We were very excited about DK Bonanza. But Nintendo is reportedly set to host a Direct in July where it will reveal some of its 2025 roadmap. I would guess release dates for stuff like Metroid Prime 4. Mario Kart World was the launch title for the Switch 2. Donkey Kong Bonanza launches in July, and Metroid Prime 4 is scheduled to release in 2025. Besides those three titles, Nintendo has remained tight-lipped about upcoming first-party games. After skipping out on Summer Game Fest at the start of June, fans assumed Nintendo would host its own press conference. There have been a few murmurs about a Direct coming soon, and those rumors have intensified. This is a spoiler warning, as the leak revealed potential new games coming to Nintendo Switch 2. If you don't want to know about any of the rumored games before the official Direct, do not read any further. Let's make a judgment call here. These leaks are either wildly inaccurate or wildly accurate, and I'd rather err on the side of caution. But let's leave it at that. The rumors are hyped up, but they are still just rumors. I don't want to go in details because I like being surprised. So we're just gonna not read further. Thanks Ryan LeMay for the spoiler warning on Insider Gaming. But yeah, if that does happen, it would make sense because after DK, I don't think we have concrete release dates for Switch 2 stuff besides like Pokemon ZA and DragXDrive, which we just learned earlier. So, what else is coming? I just like a concrete date for Metroid Prime. That's what I want. And maybe some more GameCube titles to just shadow drop for funsies, right? So yeah, let's move on. All right. Now begins the Xbox news blitz for this episode because it's a lot. But last week we got Xbox bringing original and 360 games to PC via emulation, it's claimed. And this set the internet abuzz. We talked about this in the Gaming Roundtable pod, but Xbox could be ready to bring the past to the present, according to a new rumor from known Xbox leaker Xstasis. Xbox is working to bring original Xbox and Xbox 360 games to PC and other platforms via emulation. Xstasis states via machine translation, a source who works directly at Microsoft said the company is working on what's provisionally known internally as Xbox Classics. According to the claim, this wouldn't be a simple re-release of classic games. What Xbox is working on is a new advanced emulation platform designed to run classic Xbox 360 and original Xbox titles with stability, graphical improvements, full integration with Game Pass, PC, current consoles, portable devices like the Ally, and of course, the cloud. Yeah, Zeke, we just talked about it a little while ago. Welcome in, by the way. He says that this move will coincide with the Xbox's 25th anniversary, which the company plans to celebrate in a major way with a number of new games and announcements throughout 2026. Xstasis also says that Xbox is working with the Xenia team in order to make this feature happen. Xenia, for those who don't know, is an open source 360 emulator currently available on PC. We'll talk about this in a moment because apparently more information has come to light. As with any rumor, please take the information with a grain of salt. We're all going to have blood pressure issues with how much salt we got to take with this game news episode. So I apologize. A lot of rumors here. Until it's either made official or can be independently verified by Insider Gaming. Source, while reliable in the past on various stories, has had instances of being incorrect with information. I say this went around and circulated like it did, not just because of Xstasis's, there's a lot of S's, but not because of his record with leaking and sharing information, but because a lot of us want this to happen. Xbox's Play Anywhere vision, I think, really comes together if they get this working. I don't know how this looks for licenses, but I really hope this happens because I have a ton of 360 games, digital. I have quite a few physical that, if I could pop a disc in, get a digital license of, load it up on the cloud or my PC or whatever, and just play it anywhere. I think that would be a big step for one, game preservation, and two, just making these games available to an audience that never would have considered it or been able to access it. Let's see, Xbox is almost full digital now, which is sad. I agree. Going full digital is a bummer, but it's where they want to go, and it's the cheapest route for them, I think. But that's a whole different topic now. But this has to happen. If it doesn't, then the whole this is an Xbox campaign is well, if it's newer than current year or whatever, then that happens. I think they need to make this work. Hopefully the emulation isn't complicated because they got it working on the Xbox One and the Xbox Series consoles, and those are emulated. That's all emulation. Why couldn't we do that on PC? Yes, it would be harder to optimize for different PC specs, but I think we could target a minimum, right? Probably a 2080, 3090 kind of situation. See what happens, right? I don't see why they couldn't make this work. Licensing would be the biggest hurdle. So that would be the hardest thing to do. It's like Nintendo Switch emulators with the NES, SNES, and more. Yes, exactly. I never got an Xbox home console. I don't know if I can now. It'd be hard to. If you like an OG Xbox, yeah, they're. It's not that they're hard to get. It's hard to get them where they're working. Sometimes the disc trays don't work, the laser's going out. Anyway, again, I don't know though. Like, I think with the ROG Ally, it'd be cool to just pop in or fire up. Not really pop in because there's no physical media on there. But just fire up, Fusion Frenzy for no reason. Just play by yourself. Actually, it'd be really funny. Playing the OG Splinter Cells though, the non-PC versions where the full controller support works. The Xbox versions of the Splinter Cell trilogy, Splinter Cell, Pandora Tomorrow, and Chaos Theory. Best way to play them is on Xbox. Controls are great. The game looks and runs great. The fact that the controls work at all, I've tried playing the classic Splinter Cells on PC. It's not a great time. So I think stuff like that needs to happen. It would be great. But following that, we've got Xenia denies Xbox Classics claim. So this happened later that day. It's time to pour a little water on the fire that is the Xbox Classics claim from Xstasis. After the claim that Microsoft is working on a project to bring original Xbox and 360 games to PC, Game Pass and other players went out, it was met with excitement and skepticism. Within hours, however, these claims have seemingly been shut down by one of the rumored parties. In the official Discord server for Xenia, who Xstasis said was working with Xbox on the project, members of the team immediately denied any of it happening. It's not real. Microsoft has their own 360 emulator. They'd never even consult Xenia. They then added, if it was real, I'd be under an NDA. Journalist Jess Gordon also shot down the claims of it happening right now on social media, saying Xbox is going to bring Xbox games, to more devices, but this particular scenario isn't a thing at the moment. In the original report, it was mentioned that the claim needed to be taken with a grain of salt due to recent issues of inaccuracy from the source. While covering rumors is part of the job, this is why everything covered is investigated and independently verified by Insider Gaming and other journalists. For what it's worth, Xstasis is standing by his claim. The full context is that Microsoft gets sponsorships, benefits, and staff from GitHub every month. They make alliances or hire groups and individuals who contribute solutions and projects to Microsoft. In this case, Xenia joined the program last month, he said via machine translation. If this is the case and they are under NDA, logically they can't do anything but deny it. But don't worry, we'll see you in 2026. I don't know. If they do this and they, Xenia is just like, hey, we can't talk about it. We can't acknowledge it. We're not going to acknowledge it because we're getting funding and support and sponsorships from Microsoft to keep working on Xenia to make it better. Then, hey, no big deal. That'd be kind of cool. I would like to see this happen. Or maybe Xenia just runs better and somehow we can just access our digital games through Xenia. That would be interesting. I highly doubt that's the route they go. They're very protective of your game keys and your entitlements, as they're called. But interesting nonetheless. All right, let's move on. Okay, so speaking of the Xbox PC app and how things are working, starting this week, the Xbox PC app will integrate leading PC gaming stores for Xbox insiders with no mention of Steam. Although the blog post doesn't say which PC stores are going to be integrated, at the very least, you'll be able to access Battle.net directly from the Xbox PC app from next week. So this is rolling out to insiders, by the way, but Microsoft's plans for Xbox gaming on PC continue unabated, and now Xbox insiders on the Windows 11 PC gaming preview can test Microsoft's new aggregated store system. In a blog post today, Microsoft revealed that insiders will gain access to a new version of the Xbox PC app for Windows 11 this week. The app will now aggregate leading PC storefronts from other gaming companies, although the blog post stopped short of saying exactly which will be available. My cynicism tells me the lack of mention for the leading PC storefront, Steam, indicates it won't be there for now, but it won't be long until we can find out for ourselves. So yeah, this is huge. We've seen leaks about Steam coming to Xbox, and Phil Spencer's talked about it, and everybody's talked about it, it seems. And this is kind of how the Xbox ROG Ally is positioning itself as well, to be able to launch your Epic game purchases or your GOG games from the Xbox dashboard app, or whatever it's called, for the Xbox OS. And so with that, this makes sense. They're going to roll it out to existing PC gamers to test the waters. How does it work? What API issues are there going to be? Do the licenses transfer cleanly, or do they show up correctly once you link your account? All of that needs to be tested. And I'm sure there's been enough internal testing that they're now rolling it out to everyone else on the Insider program. And if that goes well enough, then we'll see it hit Xbox, PC, the app, probably, by September, October, probably. I would guess. That's a guess. Pure guess. I have no information to back that up. It's just usually, you see something on the Insider program, and then a couple months later, they're like, hey, it's rolling out. Or it's with like the big annual updates or semi-annual, biannual updates on the Xbox consoles themselves. So, that's just one way to look at it. What we've seen in the past is the Xbox PC app gets updated pretty frequently. So I hope this works, and I hope it's very seamless, because right now, when you launch a game, like if you have a game on Epic, but it uses like the Hoyo launcher for like Genshin Impact or Star Rail, it has to launch like a version of that other launcher. And then the same with Steam, has to open, Ubisoft or whatever, or at least it used to. And Xbox's aim is to make all of that go away, and you just launch directly into the game, which would be great. That's what I want. So it's going to be interesting to see how people are playing with this, how well it works, what's actually supported. That'd be great. Because it's not going to be everything all at once. It's going to build up over time. See, personally, I don't think the ROG Ally will do that well, because Xbox doesn't have a good record of sales, and with ROG being suspected to be 800, doesn't sound good. I don't think it's meant to do well. I think it's meant to test the waters, right? I think that's more of the focus there. Just personally speaking. Also, I see your chat message. See the way companies are getting around game key cards and making a Switch 1 game with Switch 2 upgrade pack. Yeah, I thought that was brilliant. Instead of just use what's there. There's no technical reason that can't happen. That's what Xbox Play Anywhere is. It's like, oh, we'll just load up the Series S and X, or Series S or X resources, depending on what you have. Yeah, the ROG Ally is going to be a very niche device. It's going to be expensive. It's going to hit with a few people, and hopefully it's not, a huge flop for Xbox or Asus. But I guess we'll see. Once that pricing hits, and availability is going to be the other thing. I would like to pick one up, but there are a lot of things I would need to happen with it before I definitely got one. But speaking of Microsoft, they're doing the thing again. Microsoft's reportedly planning yet more major cuts at Xbox as early as next week. According to a report from Bloomberg, Microsoft is planning major cuts at Xbox starting next week. Yuck. Right? I'm tired of reading about cuts in the industry. Microsoft's planning major cuts across Xbox starting next week, according to a report from Bloomberg on Tuesday. Jason Schreier notes that it's not clear exactly which teams are being affected, but that the cuts are expected to be substantial. This will be the fourth major round of gaming-focused layoffs at Microsoft over the last 2 years, with around 1,900 employees being cut in January 2024, mostly from Activision Blizzard King, while 3 ZeniMax studios were shuttered in May 2024, with another round of Activision-focused layoffs seeing 650 more employees cut in September 2024. In Microsoft's most recent financial quarter, ending March 31st, 2025, the company saw gaming revenue up 5% year over year, driven by growth in Call of Duty, Minecraft, and Game Pass. Microsoft as a whole saw $70.1 billion in revenue for the quarter, up 11% year over year, with net income of $25.8 billion and up 18% year over year. So numbers, good, up, good, right? Oh, then why are layoffs happening? Look at the last couple months for Xbox has been down onslaught from different games and ports. Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered saw a surprise reveal and simultaneous launch, and it was the best-selling game of April in the US. Forza Horizon 5 hit PS5, became an instant success, and even being the most downloaded PlayStation 5 game for May in the US, while Doom the Dark Ages launched and reached 3 million players. Just a handful of highlights, but they were all only possible because of all the hands involved. Games are more complicated than ever, and it takes hundreds of workers to make games happen. No matter what teams are hit next week, that'll be impacted. It's the latest tiring episode and ongoing story of layoffs across the gaming industry, and it's something I'm beyond sick of. I agree, right? I agree with that, Sam Tolbert. I don't know how to say your name, and I'm sorry. It's a great thought about the rug. I didn't think about it though. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. I hate when these cuts happen though, because it's like, hey, good job, everybody's doing great. Yeah, let's go. And then it's like, oh, sorry, you don't have a job anymore because the big number didn't go up big enough. And it's like, what the crap? Like, I worked hard. I made a thing. It was successful. So yeah, it's a huge bummer. Microsoft, stop doing this. Find a way to make it work better. That's all we're saying. Stop cutting the games peoples that are making the games that are making you money. That's all we're saying. That's all we want. We want good games and we want people to be happy and well compensated at their jobs. All right, let's move on. Okay, more Microsoft news. After a year of waiting, Microsoft's MetaQuest 3S Xbox Edition is here. Hands-on review from Jez Corden at Windows Central. Last year, Microsoft revealed it was working on an Xbox Edition Quest VR headset with Meta of Facebook fame. Why it took over a year to materialize is anyone's guess, but was it worth the wait? So I just wanted to cover like the hardware itself. It's all black and green. The control, it comes with an Xbox controller and 3 months of Game Pass. The controller's like a special edition black with the green accents on it. It looks really cool. I'm not big into VR, but this is cool. Built in partnership between Microsoft and Meta. The headset itself leaked last week, although many outlets thought this was in fact new news, and it's not, and it's hard to blame them. It has been over a year since Microsoft or Meta mentioned this headset, and I think all but a very few have forgotten the project even existed. I forgot about it. I think we talked about this last year, but like I don't know. I don't remember a whole lot on it, except they were exploring partnerships, which with the Quest 2, there was like support for Xbox Cloud gaming or remote play and Xbox controller support and all the cool stuff you would expect a VR headset to do without being directly integrated with the Xbox, basically. It's not the strangest partnership to have ever existed, but it is a bit of a head scratcher. There are no new features to speak of here. Don't expect to be connecting this thing up to your Xbox to play VR games, for example. This is literally just a new very limited edition black and green colorway, complete with prepared Xbox controller and pre-installed Xbox Cloud Gaming web app. It's cool. I don't think I want to pick it up, but I think if you want a Meta Quest and you like Xbox, grab this thing. You'll enjoy it. A little expensive, $400. I mean, that's what the Meta Quest 3S. I think the 3S is like the budget version of the Quest 3. But yeah, it's cool. I hope people like it and can get their hands on it that want it, because apparently once it's sold out, it's gone. You have a Quest 2, getting a Quest 3, you might be getting this one if it's good instead of a regular 3. PSVR 2 or VR 3 when it comes out. Yeah, PSVR 2, I mean, if you want to play BeatSaber, don't get a PSVR 2 because they're not supporting that anymore. But I don't know, I'd just go with the Quest 3. 3S, like I said, I think that's the budget one. There's the regular Quest 3 that has like some higher end features, and then there's like the Quest Pro or whatever. I don't know what they're doing anymore. I've kind of fallen out with VR because they don't, the gaming space doesn't seem that interesting, but maybe now we need to pay attention. You know, I don't know. It's a weird spot to be in. But yeah, I hope people get it. It looks cool. I'm not getting it. All right, let's talk about Star Wars. Star Wars Battlefront 2 smashes all-time peaks as players demand Battlefront 3. We talked about this a few weeks ago, but apparently, as of like yesterday or over the weekend, we got another all-time peak created in the last 24 hours. That's as of June 23rd. Andrew Heighton of Insider Gaming writes, Star Wars Battlefront 2 has broken its all-time peak several times. It's being helped by the recent EA Publisher sale, bringing the price down, but its numbers are unreal regardless. The more Battlefront 2 smashes it, the more the community is desperate for Star Wars Battlefront 3. Battlefront 3 is a pipe dream and nothing more right now. EA's focus is shifting away from Star Wars games, but fans keep coming back. It was back in May that Battlefront 2 experienced its highest player count in over 4 years. Recently, it's doing even better. So, the new all-time peak for Battlefront 2 was recorded on June 22nd, 35,892 players. To be honest, this figure could be broken again and again. The EA Publisher sale on Steam has slashed Battlefront 2 by 80%, means you can buy it right now for $8. Evidently, many players are doing it, including NBA star Kyrie Irving. He was streaming the game and professed his love for Battlefront 2. I love this game because I want to have a big LAN competition with this. I want to play the best Battlefront 2 players in the world. I want them to make Battlefront 3 already, bro. That's amazing. And stuff like that gets so much attention on the game. Like, I think that's cool. Irving's Battlefront 3 sentiment is not a one-off opinion either. If you scour X, you'll find plenty of trending terms such as hashtag Battlefront 3 and hashtag make Battlefront 3. Yandura said, EA is fumbling the biggest bang of all time, not announcing Battlefront 3, whereas X-user KG added, I love every bit of this. Battlefront 3 should happen. I need it to happen. With the massive U-turn on Battlefront 3, will the massive U-turn on Battlefront 3 force EA's hand? Will the company take one last stab at making a new Battlefront game? We'll have to wait and see. And that's where I sit. You know, it's getting a lot of popularity right now. The game's cheap. The servers work well. They fixed all of the major issues of this game that this game had at launch. And it's a great game. It's so fun to play. We played it on stream here and there, and I've enjoyed every moment I played. Even when I didn't know what I was doing, I was still having fun. So it'd be really nice to see what the next step would be for DICE or whoever gets to make this, if they're going to make it. Who knows, right? But I hope it happens. I hope when it launches, when it gets announced, pre-orders go through the roof. People get super excited. That's all I want. We love Star Wars games. We just don't want them loaded down with stupid microtransactions that nobody asked for. That's it, EA. That's all you have to do. It's very simple. But anyway, all right, let's hit up our last story for tonight. Maybe we'll get one from another company because the rights to Star Wars is being public next year. That's interesting. I hadn't seen that. That's wild. All right. I thought this was cool. It's not really something I would cover, but let's talk about it anyway. Fan-made Mario Kart 64 PC port released with track editor and ultra-wide support. So the Nintendo 64 Classic's unofficial PC version is out now. Mario Kart 64 is the latest N64 Classic to be ported to PC by fans. Interesting. We still live? All right. Sorry, a tab crashed. Anyway, created by Harbor Masters, the same team behind 2022's Ocarina of Time PC port and last year's Majora's Mask port and Star Fox 64 port, Spaghetti Kart, I love the name, allows users with legal ROMs to play Mario Kart 64 with modern graphics settings, such as ultra-wide and 4K resolutions. I feel like calling it Spaghetti Kart doesn't take Nintendo's attention away from it. We know what it is. That just makes me laugh. I'm sorry. I'm very distracted by the fact that it's called Spaghetti Kart. Okay, so it's got modern graphics settings such as ultra-wide and 4K resolutions, high frame rates, anti-aliasing, full LOD, and more. The project even allows players to create custom courses, control the camera, implement harder CPU characters, and more. Like other fan port projects, this is the result of months of work from Harbor Masters' team of fan engineers, as well as a vast number of contributors who have successfully reverse engineered the original N64 game into readable code. Reverse engineering projects such as these are technically made legal because the developers involved do not use any leaked content or copyrighted assets. They also require players to provide their own legally sourced ROMs for them to work. There's some ex-post. Harbor Master's previous N64 ports eventually led to significant mods featuring HD textures, ray tracing, HD models, and more. The latest Mario Kart installment, Mario Kart World, is out now for Switch 2. For some reason, we had to mention that in this article, but here we are. I just thought this was awesome. These decompilations and recompilations for PC are amazing because it's way better than emulation. It's doing stuff emulation wishes it could do. And I think this is just seeing all the people play like the Ship of Harkinian in Ocarina of Time mods are great. Like, it's so fun looking, and I would love to see more of it. But yeah, that's it. I have nothing else to really say on this. Other than super cool. If you have a Mario Kart 64 ROM legally, check this out if you can. Play it on your PC. I don't know that ultra wide on Mario Kart is really necessary, but the screenshot looks cool. But yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it. That's all the game news I've got for tonight. Let me know what you guys think of any of this stuff. Microsoft is really pushing the Play Anywhere stuff, and everything's an Xbox. But can they get 360 games and original Xbox games on PC through emulation. I really hope so. You guys let me know what you think in the comments below. If you're watching this on Twitch, we're going to go play Fortnite in a minute. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks for liking, watching, and hitting the subscribe button and all the things. But yeah, that's it. See you next week. Bye.